Okay, lesson 1, I want to show you a rock blues shuffle pattern. It's a really cool thing. It's used in thousands and thousands of songs. You've heard it, you know it. It's just something you have to know as a guitar player. And it's a lot of fun too. In fact, I mean, this very thing, I've taught this exact thing to people who had never touched a guitar, and within 5 or 10 minutes they had it. Okay, so it's easy, it's fun, but at the same time it's actually a real guitar part used in tens of thousands of famous songs. And everything from country to blues to rock, classic rock, you know, Led Zeppelin, Aerosmith, the Beatles, they've all used this pattern. Okay? We're basically going to start with an A. Essentially, I'm playing an A chord. It's as if I was playing, and I like to use my first finger as a bar for my default A chord. I don't normally do this kind of thing. Okay? But in this case, I'm actually going to stand that finger up. Actually, what I'm playing here is sort of like a power chord, because I'm going to be picking just the 5th string open and that 4th string where I have my finger. Okay? And I'm going to be doing an 8th note, a straight 8th rhythm pattern here. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. Okay? Now, on beats 2 and 4, I'm going to put my 3rd finger down 2 frets higher than my 1st finger. So I'm on the 4th string at the 4th fret, but only on beats 2 and 4. Now remember, we're counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So out of those 8 beats that we're counting, those 8 notes we're going to play, that 3rd finger can only be down for 2 beats, on the 2nd beat and the 4th beat. On the and of 2, on 2 and, it has to be out of there. Okay? So here we go. I'll do it slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay? Now, the really cool thing about this kind of pattern is we could just take that position that we're playing here, and basically this is an A chord. I'm just going to move my 1st finger over a string, so now it's at the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. I'm going to play the open 4th string and that 3rd string and do the same thing. And this is a D chord, basically. Then I'm going to go back to A. Then I'm going to go down to the low 2 strings, the E string and the A string. I've got my 2nd fret there. Okay, you see how that's done? So I've got an A chord, a D chord, and an E chord. Okay? Now I'm going to put this together in a song. It's a 12-bar song. I'm going to play it in 2 different varieties. I'm going to play it in a rock version, which is basically what I was just doing, with just straight 8s, and then I'm going to show you how to make it more of a blues song with what we call a shuffle. And in sheet music, they're written the same way. It's just that the shuffle will say the word shuffle above it, and you'll know that it's supposed to have that blues shuffle. And you'll get it. It's pretty easy. Okay? So here we go. First, the rock version. Right there, that's the end of 12 measures. It would just repeat from then on. You just keep going on that A chord. Measure 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay? And now, that's the rock version. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing, but with a blues shuffle. And I'm still going to be playing 8 strums for each measure. I'm still going to be counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But there's a bit of a pause in between, and so it kind of comes out sounding like a heartbeat. Bump, 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 that kind of thing. All right? So it sounds like this. Okay? Now if I play the whole song, the 12-bar blues, as we would call this one, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. We'd start over again. Okay? It's important that you learn to count these, learn to count the measures, so that when you play a 12-bar blues, which is a pretty common pattern not only in blues but in rock and in country and other styles as well, you need to know which measure you're on. And a lot of times when you're doing this, it's really easy to lose track of when you've played one complete measure and which measure you're on. Okay? So think this through. The pattern goes like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the way you would count multiple measures is like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now when I go to the next chord, I might just say 1. I know I need 2 measures of this chord: 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 more measures: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then I'm ready to repeat. Okay? Get used to that counting. It's not too hard to do. You won't even have to do it very long. You know, you work on that counting a bunch of times, and pretty soon you just feel where it's time to change to the next chord. 12-bar blues follows a very common chord, or a very specific chord progression. They change at specific times, and so you'll see that in the sheet music, and just work on it. You'll get it. All right? That's lesson 1.